more so than it distracts.
I quite enjoy it. I think it kind of adds to the excitement. You
Sure.
know, you've got to zone in, but it's kind of fun as well at the same
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. So before we get into the match, obviously we're getting ready for player and coach introductions coming up in a moment here. Will Hopton, here our local man from Cleveland, dressed to the nines per usual. Will's going to be our master of ceremonies for the evening, and we'll get our intros underway in a little bit. Well, Holly, could you tell us a little bit maybe about yourself? I think obviously a former top 20 player in the world and the #1 player from Canada for a long time now, and sort of your journey with professional squash and it leading you obviously to the NSL now, but you've been on tour for quite some time now, Holly.
Yeah, too long, really. um, yeah, I think, you know, you hit the nail on the head. I've been on tour for a while. I've been #1 in Canada for quite a while, too. And it's been lots of ups and downs, like anything. It's been really cool to have this NSL league, obviously including the women for the first time last year. And having that as something over in North America. I feel like in Europe you've got all the leagues, and now you've got this over here, which is, I think the squash community is booming in the US right now. It's growing rapidly, and to be able to have it here and showcasing squash in different areas is really cool, like Cleveland.
Yeah, absolutely. A moment ago we just saw the Lake Erie Beacons line up taking the court for the Beacons tonight. It's Yannick Wilhelmi, it's David Bayerjan, and it's Ben Smith. As we now look at the Newport team taking the court for the Dragons tonight are Timmy Brownell, our U.S. #1, as well as Matthias Knudsen and Yaya El Nawasani, fresh off round of 16 appearance at the World Championships in Giza earlier this week. We're going to step aside here in the commentary booth and just moments away from National Squash League action live on the NSL YouTube channel coming up in a few moments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Cleveland, Ohio, the home of the Lake Erie Beacons. The Beacons on both the men's and the women's side, sort of the representatives of Midwest squash here in the National Squash League, representing the Greater Midwest. As there's Matthias Knudsen, just rolling next per usual in his warm-up, sporting #9 on his back on behalf of the Newport Dragons. Timmy Brownell activating glutes, getting the back ready to go right outside that glass court. We are moments away from the Beacons and the Dragons with, once again, major playoff implications here in tonight's match as we get set to wrap up the National Squash League regular season here live on YouTube with the spin bender Matthias Knudsen. We're moments away from introduction, so why don't we throw over to our MC, who in just a few moments here is going to give us. No, that seems like we've got maybe we've got time for maybe one question here, Holly, if that's okay. Just given the 6 players that are getting set to take the court here tonight, obviously you know some of them. David, you're very familiar with as the Canadian #1 on the men's side. Who are you most looking forward to sort of watching, or who do you maybe see as an X factor in tonight's matchup out of these 6?
I think we've got quite a fun dynamic. Obviously, Matthias with his trick shots and everything will be, I think, someone who's going to be fun in some of those key moments. And I also think Ben Smith could be quite interesting.
Absolutely, yeah.
Unique styles of play. I think you've got the more traditional styles with David and Yannick, a bit more endurance-based, but I think each team has got a couple players where they can really shine.
No, I would tend to agree. I think someone like a Ben Smith is someone that has always impressed me in the NSL format, someone that maybe can't necessarily hang once you get into the longer 9-10 minute shifts, but when you put him on the power play or when you see him in short bursts, has some incredible shot making ability and moves so well for his size in short bursts. So looking forward to seeing him on the court tonight. Obviously, the showman that Matthias Knudsen is, that'll be fun. And yeah, I think we as you alluded to, have a whole myriad of different styles getting set to take the court here tonight in Lake Erie. As intros are a moment away, Holly and I will step aside for a few moments here as Will Hopton will introduce our two teams coming up in just 1 second.
We have an exciting men's matchup this evening. Before we introduce the players, quick shout out to our two match officials. Firstly, from Urban Squash Cleveland, our referee, Ray, and former Cleveland Skating Club Director of Squash, Inetta, as our scorer. Our visitors this evening are the Newport Dragons. We're going to introduce their lineup, starting with their coach from St. George's School, Rhode Island, Pat Koska. In the number 3 spot for the Dragons from Columbia, world number 42, Matthias Knudsen. Playing number 2 for the Dragons from Egypt, world number 24, Yahya El Nashwani. And finally, one of the founders of the NSL from the USA, world number 30, Timmy Brownell. And now let's have a big welcome for your hometown Lake Erie Beacons, starting with their coach. You saw in action on the court last night from England, world number 33, it's Lucy Beecroft. In the number 3 spot for the Beacons, recent Canadian national champion, current world number 119, it's David Bayajon. In the number 2 spot from the Beacons, from England, it's world number 107, Ben Smith. And finally for the Beacons from Switzerland, world number 35, Yannick Wilhelmi.
There you have it. Our 6 participants, of course, Newport, led by Coach Pat Kosker, heading up the St. George's Boys High School in Newport, Connecticut, and Lucy Beecroft taking the court beside you, Holly, in yesterday's women's match.
Each team has
for
3 players.
the ladies Lake Erie Beacons.
They're going to compete
We're
over
going to kick
3
things off with
time periods.
U.S. number 1 and the Canadian
The first
number
2
1.
periods are going to be
Little North American battle between Timmy Brownell and David Bayerjan. And Holly, I know that David has dropped a little bit in the rankings the last year or two just due to that knee injury and is sort of trying to get back into the top 50 in the not too distant future. but obviously an incredibly steady and solid player who has had a lot of success over the course of his career on the PSA World Tour.
Definitely. I think he's determined to work his way back up there. He's, like you said, been out for a fair amount of time with that knee injury, but he's looking strong and he's moving well again. So I think he'll definitely get back up there in those rankings.
Absolutely, and Timmy Brownell, world number 30, the U.S. number 1, 3-time U.S. national champion. Shocked in the quarterfinals of this year's U.S. Nationals a few weeks back by the man who was just standing next to me a moment ago, the CEO of the National Squash League, Mr. Spencer Lovejoy. But Timmy is one of the more creative players on tour, so tactically sharp, and had such outstanding length to the back of the court. He's really improved as well on the physicality side in recent years. He's turned himself into a very high-level player who's had some major scalpings on tour this year, as that big win over Marwan El-Sharbaghi, of course, and a co-founder of the NSL, as we know. Starting out the first 2 years of his career with the Nashville Crushers, now doing battle for the Newport Dragons, and obviously, much like yourself, Holly, we have a pair of lefties.
I was just going to say, it's 2 lefties starting us off, too.
Do you generally find that you prefer to play another lefty, or does that sort of mitigate does that throw you off, or does that eliminate the advantage that you might have of sometimes playing other righty players?
I think we're so used to playing righties, so it's definitely, I'd say, easier to play righties. I'm sure us playing another lefty is just like a righty playing a lefty. It's tough. They can, whip those balls around cross court that righties are not used to us doing, but then another lefty you can do it to yourself as well. Right. And I think just with it being 2 lefties, I always find there's sometimes traffic issues just from the movement patterns of coming out of the shots.
Yes.
So yeah.
Brownell to hold service to kick things off, and we are underway from Cleveland. It's Brownell drawing first blood for the 1-0 Newport Dragons, who had that big win earlier in the season at home against Mustafa Sall and the Greenwich Panthers. Yahya Al-Nawasani, who we'll see presumably later this period, checking on 2 points clear of Asal in that match with about 5-6 minutes to go, and really ended up outplaying the world number 1, and as of about an hour ago, our back-to-back PSA world champion, Al-Nawasani, of course, one of the more impressive young players on tour right now, Holly.
I think that's the difference with the NSL format. No matter what you are in the world, I think it kind of levels in some of the men's matches. I think still in the women's, it's a bit harder. But I think when it comes to the men's matches, it really is a different format and
100%.
can level them out.
Yeah, in that Greenwich match, you had it was Asal and Steinman, and I don't remember the third member of that team, but yeah, Marsh. So you've got 3 top 20 players taking on 3 players outside the top 20, of course, and it was Newport who ended up getting the win. So it is true that really anything can happen in the National Squash League format.
And I think that's where, like, I know from playing with my first match a year ago to playing last night, you just learn so much, and it is like tactically you can really get it right or wrong, and I think these guys have experience with it.
Absolutely, as that's an excellent piece of width from the Canadian number 1. Yeah, Holly, what do you think took the longest for you to adjust to with the NSL format, which obviously is so different from Best of 5 squash? For those who are joining us here on the NSL YouTube channel for the first time, we have 3 periods tonight between these 3 teams, 3 players on each side, obviously. The first 2 periods, 20 minutes apiece, and the third period, 30 minutes, so there's no target score. It's all about the clock here in the NSL, and we're getting into the substitutions and the power plays later. But what do you think was the toughest thing to adjust to when joining the NSL?
I think that getting thrown in right at like no warm up, controlling the heart rate. I feel like the first time I played, I felt like my heart rate was up at 200 instantly.
Yeah.
You're trying to like settle into the game and hit your targets, where you just kind of gotta roll with the anxiety almost.
Yeah, especially when you're checking in. You don't really have much of a warm-up, as we'll see with these substitutions. You're on, and you better be warm and ready to go.
Yeah, I think that the teams that do well are the ones that can just get on and reset and just roll with it and not panic. I think there's a big panic aspect of getting thrown on. I think yesterday, Amina, who's first time playing, she's hold there from W, really struggled with it in between the periods. She was saying it was really hard for her to go on and straight into it. So I think that's one of the big adjustments.
It's a nice put away from Brownell on the volley drop. Punishing the loose cross from Bayerjan. It's a back and forth affair early in the first period. High quality squish in the early going.
3.
Still contact in the backswing there. We'll do it over. Holly, I did find watching yesterday, obviously you were on court playing, so maybe you have a different perspective, but I do feel like this is a court that rewarded height on the front wall and sort of slow balling it to the back a little bit. Feels like the back corners were maybe a little bit deader than your traditional glass court. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I think it's a lively court, but yeah, using the height, you can really get it to stay in those back corners. And I think the ball dies off so quick. In a regular PSA match, you have that opportunity to change the ball after the third game. And with the length of the periods, I think we normally would, after that period of time, it softens a fair amount.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, we generally don't see the ball changes come in, but obviously
I don't know if we can even do that anyway, unless
right. No, I don't think so. I'm not sure if there's anything in the rule book about that, of like a post-second period ball change or anything, but by the third period, by the end of the third period, here's the corkscrew serve from Timmy. Never one to shy away from a little showmanship and a gorgeous forehand
Probably
drive
the doubles
winner.
helped this morning with that.
Yeah, absolutely. A little hardball doubles pro-am for Timbo. Taking some inspiration from the hardball doubles court, but
5-6.
It's nice and tight. Both teams, like you said, are looking for the playoffs, so crucial start to this. Keep the score tight and not have a team run away with it.
oh, shots. We have not only the two lefties, but racket twins as well.
Got the finesse, Timmy, and the sheer brute force of David on here.
The unstoppable force in the movable object. Nothing separating these two. 6-all in the early going. Some really lengthy rallies, only 12 points in as we are over 7 minutes to go. And we have a sub and a power play. Here comes Matthias Knudsen checking on, and he's going to call an immediate power play. And now Bayerjan is stuck out on court for the next 2 minutes, Holly. Only Matthias can score for these next 2 minutes. No substitutions are allowed during that period. And this is where Matthias thrives.
I feel like this is where David will be good, though. Just
Absolutely.
defending, getting that ball back.
Yeah, on one hand, I do think it's smart for Coach Pat Kosker to call the power play when Bayerjan is already 7 minutes into his shift and maybe is on slightly heavy legs. However, Bayerjan's specialty is his defense and his ability to hang in these long rallies. But already in...
You can see Matty's experienced with it. He's
3
rally
points in
goes
only 30 seconds.
Yeah. And any rally that goes anywhere near not on his racket, he's just picking that ball up and starting again.
Absolutely. No reason to continue to play if you're getting pinned in the back corners. Just pick up the ball and start a new rally. But when Matthias can really just go for it without any reservations about making an error or anything like that, he's going to be in a really good spot with the talent on his racket. Obviously a bit of an unorthodox swing, especially on the backhand, can be very difficult to read, as Knudsen with 5 points in the first 70 seconds of this power play.
It's the quickest I've ever seen him move going for these serves.
So we're approaching the end of the power play. Bayerjan getting his feet underneath him a little bit here.
That was in. That was in.
Oh, I've missed it, Holly. I'll take your word for it. Completely missed it. Timmy was standing in my way.
Points clear now for the Newport Dragons.
6 points clear, and Matthias got 5 of those 6 points in very quick fashion, and it's a nice piece of defense over those last 45 seconds or so from Bayerjan. He's just started a little bit in the opening minute of that power play. Now here comes, for Lake Erie,
this could be quite
the
an
Englishman,
interesting
Ben Smith.
matchup as well.
Yes. Could see some fireworks. Obviously, these two big lads. Ben Smith, 6'4". Mattia, I think, is around 6'3". A lot of talent on the rackets of these two gentlemen. Matthias really able to change his tactics on a dime here. He's playing far more attritional after the end of the power play. It's tough to make that switch, I'd have to imagine, Holly. You had some good power play moments, I think, both attacking and defending yesterday, but it's obviously tough to make that switch from attacking or defending the power play to just going back to playing attritional squash.
It is, and we were chatting about that earlier, is I did well on either end, and then as soon as it finished, those next few points, just making too many errors quickly, it's different, very difficult to switch gears.
Okay, so here's a power play for Lake Erie now. This is a make or break moment in this first period. The Beacons 7 points back. Ooh. Oh, and an absolute roller out of nowhere from Ben Smith.
This is his time to shine.
Getting on the board in quick fashion. Oh, I think he clipped the top of the tin there. Yeah, the referee agrees. That's 1 for Ben Smith. He'd love to get at least 5 to sort of pull within striking distance. And we'll have plenty of time, 9 minutes left after the conclusion of this power play.
I feel like this is where the guys are so much better than the women at it. They just let it, girls try and get the rally back.
I think a lot of that's obviously these two have been with the NSL from the very start. This is year 3 of the NSL for the men, obviously year 2 for the women, and so perhaps it's an experience piece.
And so I guess there's more men's teams, so they probably played a few more matches too.
True, that's true.
Just making a few too many errors here.
So Smith with that spectacular finish on the first point of the power play.
And it's kind of gone downhill since then.
Matthias really defending quite well. Got about 30 seconds remaining. Ben Smith has really been completely neutralized by Matthias Knudsen here. This will be the final point of the power play. So no rush here for Ben Smith to end this quickly.
Shots.
And the decision is no let. It's a good finish in the front left for Ben Smith. And here's our first timeout of the evening. Both teams allotted 2 timeouts over the course of our 3 periods here tonight. Pat Kosker wants to talk things over with his group, who's going to take a 5-point lead into the final 9 minutes here. It's a smart timeout here for Newport. Matthias on the power play, defending the power play. I don't think Newport's quite ready to make a substitution yet, Holly, because Yaya Al-Nawasani would have to go on for a 9-minute shift. That would be quite long, so you'd imagine that Pat Kosker says, take a breath, Matthias. We need you for another maybe 2 minutes or so before we let Yaya on to hopefully close things out here in the third. We've yet to see for Lake Erie Yannick Wilhelmi, the Swiss number 2.
I think it's quite an interesting, though, timeout, just like we spoke about at the beginning. Ben Smith, from the fitness side of things, I would have backed probably Matty to be the...
That's a good point.
So they've kind of given him the breather now to then throw him back on.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I guess
that's a tough. That's very fair. I think obviously Smith doing maybe a little bit less of the running in theory, given that he was the one on the power play. However, Matthias didn't really look like he was working too hard to defend there. He was really found his length and was able to neutralize the attacking of Smith quite nicely there. That is a great point, Holly, and that's a bit of a weird bounce there, but a winner nonetheless for Knudsen. Now 14 to 8 up, and obviously Wilhelmi, the number 1 player for Lake Erie here tonight, ranking-wise, so I think Lucy Beecroft may want to consider making a substitution here before this period gets away from the Lake Erie Beacons.
it's definitely teetering on that edge of no return.
Yeah, you don't really want to get to 9 or 10 points down with under 10 minutes to go. That's a bit insurmountable. We're at 7 now. All things considered, fairly low scoring first period thus far, given that both teams have already used their power plays. It's a nice hold from Smith and a great movement from Knudsen. Oh, touch from Ben Smith with a little flick of the wrist on the backhand side. Ben Smith draws one back. A great shift for Matthias Knudsen, the man of the match in Newport's match against Greenwich a few weeks ago. Now on comes the highest ranked player for the Newport Dragons, the world's number 22. From Tanto, Egypt, it is Yaya Al-Nawasani here from Giza, Egypt, a few days after his appearance in the round of 16 at the PSA World Championships. Had a big win over Greg Marsh in Egypt. Only 24 years old is Yaya. And here comes Wilhelmi, so it's these two teams' highest ranked players. Wilhelmi, the world number 35, and the Swiss number 3. Of course, Steinman, the number 1 player from Switzerland. Nicky Mueller still a couple spots ahead of Wilhelmi for the time being.
He's got quite a big point differential to climb
he
back
does.
here.
Yannick is someone that you want on court with a lead for sure. He's going to be able to steady that ship. But facing a deficit with under 7 minutes to go now.
Against someone like Yaya, who
Against someone like Yaya, where the pace is just unrelenting.
he picks up so many balls too. Ooh.
There's one. It's a hard fought point there for Wilhelmi. Post out of the leisure center there from Al-Nawasani. Oh, and an unforced error there from the Swissman, maybe feeling that the clock is starting to become a little bit of a factor here with under 5.5 minutes to go. It's quite a get from Al-Nawasani, who guesses right.
Oh.
Ooh. Great hustle there from the Egyptian to hang in that rally. Wilhelmi feeling the pressure, went for the boast and makes the error, and now looks like this first period, barring something crazy, is going to go the way of Newport. Now up 10 points, a point away from doubling up Lake Erie here in period number 1.
Not the best for the Lake Erie Beacons either.
No, not the best start.
To win, or 3-1 win with, I think, greater than 14 points.
Yes, I think that sounds about right. With the standings pulled up here, I think that. Yeah, something like that sounds correct.
Clawing back this is going to be crucial for
Yeah,
their
so
playoff, that's for certain, even if they don't win this period.
Yeah, should take a lot of pressure off the shoulders of the Dragons, who will clinch the North Division and an NSL playoff berth with a second period victory here. Newport still with a chance, if they sweep Lake Erie 4-0 tonight, to head into the NSL playoffs in a few weeks in Norwalk, Connecticut as the #1 overall seed. Right now it looks like the Philadelphia Lightning will hold that position unless Newport's able to win tonight and win by a margin across 3 periods that is greater than, let's do some quick math, they would need to win by more than 24 points collectively, which they're sort of on pace to do based on this first period. It's possible.
Couple errors coming from Yaya now.
Oh, and there's a put away from Wilhelmi. Couple quick points here. Cuts the deficit to 6. Great width.
Great
Oh, it's an
hold.
excellent pattern. Incredible forearm strength on that backhand drive. Sucked Al-Nawasani in, and Sent that right to the back. Pat Kosker thought it was a double bounce for the Swissman, but we play on. Oh, and there's soft hand, soft touch. The deficit cut to 4 with under 2 minutes to play. Can the Egyptian hang on for Newport?
Great defending there by Yannick.
It is, and there's another put away on the volley. He's rewarded for some great defense. Getting that big frame low into that lunge in the front left. And the clock, a major factor here. Yaya's still hanging on to a 3-point lead with under a minute to go.
We need some quick points here.
He does.
None of these rallies are really going that way.
Oh, and there's an error. 2 points back, so Yannick needs 2 points in the next 40 seconds, and to get a serve, actually he just needs this 1 point and to get a serve off. So if he can win this point, he can take his time on the volley. And what a run that Yannick Wilhelmi has put together here. That is 7 straight. There's no rush now for the Swissman, as he just needs to win this point, and then if the clock expires, we'll head to a sudden death point for this first period. What a turnaround. This would be one of the great comebacks we've had in the NSL.
He's hanging on.
Oh, Yaya's gone for it, and he's put it away on the backhand. Ice water in his veins after dropping 7 straight. Yaya El Nawasani hangs on, a cheeky smile. He knows that he survives. And the Newport Dragons take period number 1, 23-21. But not without making us sweat here in the commentary booth, Holly. So we'll head into the second period in just a few moments here on the NSL YouTube channel. Newport leading Lake Erie, 1 period to 1.
Meet Dakota Marketplace, built by fundraisers for fundraisers. It's a complete, accurate, and ever-updated database. Stay current on job and role changes to be notified when your prospect or client leaves a firm. Stay up to date on fundraising news. Access our metro areas feature, which allows you to quickly identify a city that you are traveling to, and all of the qualified prospects within that city broken out by channel. All of this updated in real time. Request a demo and see how we make fundraising easier.
Welcome back to second period NSL action here in Cleveland, Ohio. The Newport Dragons survive a last-minute comeback from the Lake Erie Beacons. They led by around 8 points with 2 or 3 minutes to go in that opening period, and it was Yannick Wilhelmi who rattled off 7 straight rallies to cut the deficit to 1. Up 22-21. Yaya Al-Nawasani on behalf of the Newport Dragons slots a gorgeous backhand drop winner, and Newport hangs on in the first period on the brink of clinching a playoff berth. Lake Erie holding on to their playoff hopes, and it's the two gentlemen who closed out period number 1 back on court to start period number 2. And sitting with me now in the commentary booth, we have Hannah Jung, the minority owner of the Lake Erie Beacons. Hannah, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to chat with us. And what did you make of that first period here? Obviously watching your ladies team take the court last night. A hard-fought, valiant effort, falling 3-1 at the hands of the Sono Sharks, wrapping up the NSL regular season on the women's side. But now we have the men doing battle, and Lake Erie still with a chance to make the playoffs here.
Well, thanks so much for having me back. I'm honored to get the invite back after joining the commentary booth last night. It's such a great weekend for Cleveland sports all around with the men and women's team here. And, I know the Cavs were playing in town last night as well. I thought, it was a really great opener and a really great period 1. We had the battle of the lefties to start the first period. We had Timmy against David, and I thought they held it really close. I think, Maddie had a really good shift on the power play kill and the power play. But, the Beacons are kind of the team of overcoming what seems to be insurmountable comebacks. And Yannick's role, as you were mentioning there, was really, really impressive. And that's the energy that Yannick and the team is looking to bring into period 2 here.
Absolutely, Hannah. And the other piece of business that we have to get to is I understand that you participated in the Pro-Am here in Cleveland earlier this morning. We had a hardball doubles affair. Timmy was your partner on courts. Obviously, you had to team up with him knowing that your team was going to be playing against him here this evening. Was there any bad blood between you and Timmy, or were you all in on your partnership for hardball doubles tonight?
First of all, I have to give kudos to Timmy for hitting 90% of the balls that our team hit on court today, and I did tell him that he would be retrieving in every corner of the court. Now, was this a little, get Timmy a little tired for tonight's match? Was this a little kind of opposition competition? Perhaps, but all I have to say is we had a great time out there. A big thank you to Timmy for playing with me, wearing in our color-coordinated outfits. We wore blue for those tuning in from the live stream last night. And it was a really fun time on court with a lot of the pros this morning. And we're excited to be back and continue to see the action on court tonight.
Okay, lovely. Hannah, the final thing I want to ask you is about obviously your new involvement with the NSL and obviously having 9 teams on the men's side and 6 on the women's side and looking for expansion in the years to come. But tell us a little bit about how you found out and heard about the NSL initially and what made you want to be a part of it.
I mean, I've always been such a big fan of recreational and professional squash. It's amazing to see what Spencer and Timmy have built here with the NSL. I think the team format is amazing for the growth of the sport, getting eyes on the sport, and as well as just the energy and the crowd that it can really rally up. Really excited to see more teams added to both the men's and women's side. And one thing I love about the Beacons in particular are we're the only city that has a men's and women's franchise on the same team. So really excited to see what's coming next, and excited to see more players continue to join the league, more teams continue to join. And I know we're all kind of rallying up for the 2028 Olympics in LA here, and it's just amazing to see both the playership as well as the audience for squash grow.
Absolutely, and 6 individuals who certainly will have Olympic hopes in the coming years, and the NSL featuring a lot of the highest level squash in the world. And it's wonderful to see the league's growth over the past 3 years, and it's wonderful to have you on board, Hannah. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We'll get Holly back in here in just a moment as Yannick Wilhelmi holding a narrow lead over Yaya El-Nawasani in the early going of period number 2. These two closing out the first, as I mentioned, Holly, and warm enough to sort of just keep the ball rolling and continue in period number 2. I think Lake Erie thinking, well, Yannick played so well, let's just keep him out there. And Pat Kosker for Newport thinking, well, Yaya may be struggling at the end of that first period. We don't want him to sit on the bench and think about it too long. We're going to get him right back out there and sort of short-term memory and try to get some confidence back for the world number 22. At least that's my armchair assessment on the matter. But do you generally find that if you're maybe closing out the period, do you want to get right back on and keep the momentum going, or do you want to sit and have a bit of a breather?
I think it all depends how you're doing. I think it definitely helps. You're already you're already warm, so it's good to kind of get going. And
yeah, I love the spirit. On the power play, he would be justified there. But
nice.
oh, it's a great put away, punishing the loose cross. Excellent weighted shot on the volley. Sorry to cut you off there, Holly.
No. Yeah, I think it's good to get you sometimes straight back on. Keep them warm. Use the momentum, or like you said, if it's not being so good, then just get them on to get rid of that. There's still so much to play for.
Wilhelmi really doing an excellent job of controlling the tee here. His length just seems a little bit sharper, and it seems a little bit frantic for El Nawasani. Crosses aren't really quite getting the width that they need to be, and Wilhelmi gobbling up the volleys.
Yeah, he's using his height and wingspan across the middle of the tee to cut those off. He had a good, strong start, and obviously Yaya's just managed to claw some back and keep it within a point now. Feel like the Beacons could put Ben Smith on to try and get a few quick points in a power play.
It's not a bad shout. Right next to us, it looks like Timmy Brown now warming up. Oh, it's a little flick of the wrist. Bit of a taxi there for the Swissman. Pulling back out in front, 9-8, a 1-point lead for the Beacons. So Timmy Brownell getting ready to check on any moment here as we are more than 7 minutes into this second period. It does look like it's going to be Ben Smith for Lake Erie. So it's a double sub. Lake Erie countering the Timmy Brownell substitution with a sub of their own. Ben Smith comes on for Lake Erie. Oh, and there's an error for Smith. Okay, so looks like you've called it, Holly. Ben Smith checking on very quickly. Going on power play here with already a 2-point lead.
Let's hope this one goes better than his first one.
Yeah, absolutely. So if he's dominant enough here, he really has a chance to almost put the second period on ice. Of course, Newport will still have a power play remaining, but if
two
he
errors.
can find his range, that's 2 errors right off the bat. There's a chance.
Timmy's doing great at just getting that ball back.
Timmy just digging, and he got a couple extra back, which helps chew the clock, even though he ended up losing that rally. It's the first point of the power play for Ben Smith. Almost a minute in, only 1 rally so far. It's gone in his favor. He's gone for the 3-wall post, and he's absolutely rolled it flat as a pancake. There's no better feeling in squash than the 3-wall winner. But another tin. Feels like he needs at least 2 more here to justify this power play. Lake Erie up 13-9. Newport will have power play remaining. The no-let decision given. Oh, it's excellent from Smith. That's a great dig from Timmy. Oh my goodness, out of nowhere with the broken string! Timmy can do nothing but applaud there. Ben Smith, and apologies for those listening at home to my voice crack. That was unbelievable. That was out of this world. Little spinneroonie for the Englishman. Nothing you can do about that if you're Timmy Brownell. Oh my goodness, rolling on home, Ben Smith. Now here he goes, 10 seconds remaining. Can he get 2 more points on the power play? He's gonna let that ball go to the back. This will likely be the final point of the power play for Ben Smith.
I think
5
there's an
points
extra couple seconds left, I believe.
Okay, so power play done. This is the final point. No rush here for Ben Smith. It's a huge rally, that difference between 7 and if he can get 8 points clear as we've passed now the halfway point of the second period. Yes, let, given, whether it's a stroke or a let, it doesn't matter. As it is the final point of the power play, and now we're done. Smith's got to reset and hunker down. A lot of errors there on that power play, so he's really going to have to switch up his tactics, although it was very effective, very flashy, 5 points on the board. Oh, excuse me, that was the final point of the power play.
That's a smart use of a timeout there. Give Ben that breather.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ben Smith, who's gone all out there the last 2 minutes, is going to be the beneficiary of a timeout here for Lake Erie. See Timmy Brownell talking things over with
Looking very fresh.
Oscar looking very fresh after defending that power play.
Definitely Ben who needs this timeout more than Timmy.
Yes. Both teams now with 1 timeout remaining. Lake Erie in the driver's seat here. It'll be interesting to see when Newport elects to use that power play. You'd imagine it'll be Matthias Knudsen calling it. Will they wait until the end of the period, or will he check on in a couple minutes here and use it right away, Holly?
It could be smart to, wait a few more rallies and then call the power play and keep Ben on there. He's looking tired, and there's 9.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
It's a long time. I don't know if the Beacons will be subbing in right away or try and get Ben to withstand a little bit longer. So it could be smart for them to keep him on there an extra couple minutes.
Could be a little bit of a staring contest of who waves that flag first. Is Pat Kosker going to say we're checking Matthias on and we're calling the power play now? Or are they going to wait and see if Lake Erie will leave Ben Smith out there for another 2-3 minutes and then call the power play? It's going to be interesting.
Oh.
Timmy with the deck. Oh, and it's a double bounce. Excellent. From the American with a thunderous forehand.
Like Timmy's got the right tactics here, just extending the rallies, keeping it in the back.
Big rallies here.
Not flirting with the tin at all, just putting some work into Ben.
A line from Timbo. Smith is reeling. Yeah, Kosker's got to seriously be looking at the power play here. There he goes over to have a word with Matthias, who's standing to our left, getting warm. This may be the final point before Matthias comes on, and this could be disaster for Lake Erie if they're not able to get Ben Smith off the court. The Beacons clinging on to a 5-point lead. If Timmy's able to win this rally and Matthias can go on power play against Smith, Newport's going to be in really good shape here, making this point all the more important. Oh, touch from Smith. Oh, Timmy thought he got it. Oh, a carry. That ball was Elmer's glued to the sidewall from Smith. So Matthias is checking on. No power play, though. Perhaps a missed opportunity for Pat
Flag
Kosker.
came up, too. The David's going in.
So Newport beats Lake Erie to the punch on the substitution, but it was not a double flag. It was only the yellow flag, so no power play from Newport. And now Ben Smith is going to get off court, and on comes probably the biggest tank on this Lake Erie team, David Bayerjan, who's going to be really tough to break down here. So now I think the tactic is going to shift to Matthias is going to try to put some work into David for the next 3 minutes here. Of course, you have to call your power play with over 4 minutes to go in the period. You can't just call it with 2 minutes to go and ice the clock out.
Could they call it right at 4?
Yeah, they could call it right at 4 if they want to, but of course, if you're serving with 4:15 remaining, you don't want to take any chances. Or we've seen in the past situations where a rally may start with 4 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the period, and then the rally ends up going under 4 minutes. A team loses their power play because they don't call it in time.
Oh, great drop.
It's a great put away from Bayerjan. Here comes the power play now. Here comes the power play. 6 points for Knudsen to make up in the next 6.5 minutes. He's got a 2-minute power play to help him out. He goes behind the back but gives up the stroke. Oh, wow. Shot from Mati. It takes a weird bounce.
He's got to defend this. Great defending so far.
Oh, it's a
firing
ripper
in that
of a
boast.
Serves over the head of Bayerjan there. Oh, no. It's got to count. It must count on the power play. You have to be ready to return serve. We'll play a lead on that return, but that point should count for Matthias.
It has gone on the board, 16-18.
Matthias with such great intensity. I mean, yeah, he's just absolutely in a dead-on 3 or 4 step sprint to make it to the service box to get that serve off as quickly as possible. He knows this format inside and out. This is year 3 for him in the NSL. It's his 3rd team. Helps the New York City Knights to the inaugural NSL championship back in 2024. Played for the Derby City Colts last year, and now
that lead is gone now.
Timmy and Yaya in Newport, and a spectacular power play for the Colombian. 5 points in the first 70 seconds here.
Oh.
Make that 6. He would love to get one more here to pull 2 points out in front of Bayerjan. Oh, and Matthias not able to get that serve off before the end of the power play. So Matthias wants a timeout. Matthias wants a timeout. He wants to take a breather. Matthias wants to make sure.
He's looking pretty gassed, actually. This is a good sign, I think, for the Beacons.
It is a good sign for the Beacons. Matthias really went all out on that power play. And glad to, and good on Matthias, honestly, for advocating for himself, because we've seen that sometimes in the SL. The rule is when you're defending the power play, whether you're in position or not, Holly, you have to be ready to defend, you have to be ready to return serve, and if you're not, then it's going to favor the attacking player. Obviously, the attacking player is serving, which is a new rule, actually, in year 2 of the NSL. The inaugural season, we did not have that, so we had a lot of stalling and situations in which the person defending the power play would serve if they won the point previous, and so you're serving every point if you're on the power play, and you've got to be ready to go if you're defending. A great
Has
rule
that
addition.
changed then? Because I remember last year, as soon as your feet got into the box.
Oh, interesting. Is that so? I don't know.
I don't know if it was on just.
Maybe I'm misremembering.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. We'll have to get an official ruling from.
I do remember walking around the
there
area
has been a change. Yeah.
until I was close enough in position to where I wanted to return.
Yeah, and honestly, and fair enough for the players to try to take advantage of that. You know, of course, we always want to advocate for good sportsmanship, but if you're not on power play, it's not on you necessarily to pass the ball to your opponent. You're not going to hit it to the opposite
Definitely
corner
not.
of the court,
I'm leaving
just,
it wherever
just
that
leave
ball
it and,
is.
let them go get it. Absolutely.
It's like playing offense, defense when you were a kid. Roll that ball to the front of the court.
Exactly. untie my shoe. So there's always, there's the tweener from Mati. And a chance for Bayerjan, buried in the tin. Matthias got a little too cute, perhaps. He got away with it there. Newport out in front by 1. Something also worth noting is Newport now heading into the third period, a 30-minute third period with no timeouts remaining. Lake Erie still has 1 left.
I think they're throwing everything into this. I believe if they win this period, they qualify for the finals, right?
They do. And 2 minutes and 50 seconds to book their ticket to Norwalk, Connecticut. M Squash, the home of this year's 2026 National Squash League playoffs. Tickets on sale now at nslsport.com. Got a bit of a mega rally on our hands. Oh, it's a kill from Bayerjan. Did he get that back? I think he did. Oh, iffy. Now Wasani says double bounce. Timothy Brownell says it was iffy, so if his 2 teammates concede, he did not get the ball back fair enough. It was a spectacular finish from Bayerjan regardless. We're all knotted up at 20 apiece. Remember that third period worth 2 points instead of the first 2, which are worth 1. So the match still hangs in the balance if Newport's able to win this second period. But if Newport takes it, Lake Erie out of playoff contention. Newport will clinch the division. Shot. Oh.
Great work by David.
Wow, excellent width from Bayerjan. It's getting awfully physical at this pace. We only have another rally or 2 left here in this third period. The lungs are going for Mati. He's gone for it off the serve return. He's reeling a bit. He's got to dig deep here. 45 or so seconds to go, trailing by 1.
I think this rally's crucial if David can get this.
Oh, he's going for it with a ripper of a boast that clips the top of the tin.
2 points and 34 seconds left.
Yeah, I think you're right, Holly. Now the clock a major factor for Knudsen. He really has to go for it. Let the arm go here.
And David just got to keep this ball in play.
Oh, and a ripper. A nick for Knudsen. Timmy wisely telling Matthias, take your time, slow down. Matthias just has to serve before the clock expires, and if he wins this rally, we'll head to a sudden death point to decide the period. No rush for Matthias here. If he loses this rally, he'll be 2 points behind. It'll be too late.
Come on, Tarzan.
Oh my goodness, what a finish.
And
it's
Bayerjan
Bayerjan with a slam dunk into the front right corner. A nick winner. Matthias wants it. Yes, he thought he got that ball back. The referee holds his ground. And Newport will have to wait a little bit longer before they can taste a playoff berth here in 2026. Lake Erie hanging on by the hair of their chinny chin chin. It's Newport 1. It's Lake Erie 1. It's the NSL live on YouTube.
Meet Dakota Marketplace. Built by fundraisers for fundraisers. It's a complete, accurate, and ever-updated database. Stay current on job and role changes to be notified when your prospect or client leaves a firm. Stay up to date on fundraising news. Access our metro area's feature, which allows you to quickly identify a city that you are traveling to, and all of the qualified prospects within that city broken out by channel. All of this updated in real time. Request a demo and see how we make fundraising easier.
Okay, folks, so you're going to have to bear with us. We're working through right now the playoff implications heading into this third and final period. David Bayerjon, the Canadian #1, hanging on for Lake Erie. To clinch the division, Lake Erie needs to win this third period by 10 points or more against the Lake Erie Beacons. Obviously, the point differential for this match deadlocked at 0 apiece between Newport and Lake Erie. Newport winning that opening period by 2. Lake Erie responding by winning the third period by 2. It's Ben Smith and Timmy Brownell on to start the third. However, if Lake Erie wins this third period by less than 10, they do have an opportunity to clinch a wild card spot. Which actually, no, looking at it, Newport can clinch the division with a win or a shootout loss. So
I think Lake Erie, the Beacons, only can qualify for the wild card spot, is how I'm reading this.
Okay, and that may be correct. Maybe because they lost the head-to-head from Greenwich. Is that, or is it on Newport's side? If Newport wins this period, they win the division. They're in the playoffs. If Lake Erie wins,
If they have a point of 10 to 13 up, then Greenwich would win the division. Lake Erie, I think, would be the wild card.
okay. But if they win by 14 or more, Lake Erie would win the division. Okay, so Lake Erie needs to win by 10
To get wild card.
To get a wild card spot. They need to win by 14 or more to win the division. And in both of those scenarios, Newport will be bumped out of the playoffs. If Newport wins, they're in, they're the division champions. So then the question is, what if Lake Erie wins this period by less than 10 points? Which in that case, they would not make the playoffs. Greenwich wins the division. But then Newport would be the wild card team? Question mark. We're gonna have a look. Then yes, I believe based on point differential, if Lake Erie wins, this period by less than 10 points,
There's a
Greenwich
whole
wins
bunch.
the division.
Yeah.
And Newport is into the playoffs, so we hope you're keeping up at home. Feel free to rewind. But just based on point differential, because Philadelphia Lightning, or excuse me, not the Lightning, the Tornadoes also have 4 points, 4 periods won, but they're behind Newport on point differential, and if Newport lose this period by less than 10, then they're safe for a wild card berth. So Newport obviously would like to win the division, would like to improve their seeding heading into the playoffs. So they want to win this third period outright. That would make them, I believe, the number 2 overall seed heading into the postseason. Whereas, even if they lose by less than 10, they secure a wild card spot. Lake Erie needing 10 to clinch a wild card spot, a 10-point win in this period, or a 14-point win to clinch the division. So much to play for. We'll keep you guys up to speed with what's going on, but right now, the action unfolding here from Cleveland, Ohio, between Ben Smith, the 24-year-old who celebrated his 24th birthday yesterday, actually, did Ben Smith. One of England's uber-talented junior players of the last decade, and the U.S. #1, Timmy Brownell. And here comes Lake Erie with their first power play of the third period. Of course, both teams with 2 2-minute power plays now at their disposal here in the third, and an extra substitution given the length of this third period. So 30 minutes here. Each team with 3 subs. We'll have to double check on that, 3 or 4 subs, but 2 2-minute power plays.
Ben's not having a good power play so far.
Timmy neutralizing Ben Smith, and once again, Lake Erie needing a 10-point victory in this period to keep their playoff hopes alive. These power plays are going to be so crucial for them. And Ben has on a number of occasions on these power plays, has hit some really nice short balls, but Timmy or whoever's been defending has dug them back, and Ben just kind of relaxes a little bit. He's not ready for the follow-up. He's not really looking to put together patterns. He kind of gets frustrated if he doesn't hit a winner, and he sort of gives up on the rally a little bit. He's got to stay ready and hunt the volley on the next shot. Oh, he had a stroke.
Definitely a tough one. Like you said, he's just not ready. I think you can look at power plays in a couple different ways. You either try and 1-2 punch them and try and fatigue the person, so then the short balls come quicker. But how he's doing it, like you said, he's not hitting the winners, and he's not really getting any fatigue into Timmy at all.
No, there is generally more precedent for power play success when you're sort of trying to construct rallies and play the right way rather than just going for outright winners every ball.
He's had 0 points, I think, in this power play.
Yeah, and we've seen that before. Mostafa Al-Surti earlier this year, 0 points on the power play. And Timmy looking to achieve the same feat. And finally getting on the board is Ben Smith at the final moment, but it's an excellent power play defense. And Lake Erie, we've got 24 minutes to go, but Lake Erie could be in a lot of trouble here. We have a tie match with Newport up a power play.
Hopefully Yannick can work some magic here. I think the tactics, like you said, there's no timeouts left for Newport, so tactically they should be wanting to put a bit of work into these Newport players' legs and use the fact that they don't have that timeout.
Oh. Got the racket caught a little bit there. Absolutely right, Holly. Tactics going to play a major factor in this third period of Both teams just looking to drain their opponents. That's an unbelievable shot and a better get from Timmy. But it's Yannick putting Timmy away on the very next ball. Yannick a few spots behind Timmy in the rankings, but does have a win over him a little over a year ago on the PSA World Tour. These two so evenly matched. Okay, so off comes Timmy Brownell. He's going to get a well-deserved rest after opening up this first period. The first of 4 substitutions for Newport here in the third. It's Yahya Al-Nawasani, the world number 22. Shot. Wilhelmi putting Al-Nawasani on the angle to pull out 2 in front. Like Erie sort of just waiting for that first power play here from Newport. We'll see if they'll save both power plays for later in the period. Maybe Newport will end up stacking the power plays back to back. That could be a strategy. Or maybe Al-Nawasani will use the first of the 2 sometime in the next few minutes here. I sometimes think about tactically in the NSL, what if I'm the other team, what would I not want to see? If I were Lake Erie, I would love for Newport to call their first power play now. Right now, Lake Erie really reeling here, having used their first power play already, and obviously we have a tie ball game right now. I would be very anxious if I were Lake Erie, if I know that Newport's up on the power play front and just hanging on to both those power plays to use anytime they want. So if I'm Pat Kosker here for Newport, I would just hang on to those. Maybe use both of those power plays with under 2 minutes to go.
Which I think probably is going to be that play, right? Especially with the point differential. Like, they know that if they just keep this a tight game, they're making playoffs.
Yeah, they would love to repeat as North Division champions, of course, with Newport, but all that matters is making it into the postseason, giving yourself a chance at that illustrious NSL championship. The Philadelphia Lightning, the defending champs, already into the postseason. Already your NSL East champs. They do seem to be the favorites as of right now, but I'm a fan of this Newport team who doesn't have a top 20 player in the world, who doesn't have a super duper star like a lot of these NSL teams do. Obviously, the Chicago Grizzlies heading to the playoffs, Kareem Abdel-Gawad on that team, Marwan El-Sharbaghi leading up the Philadelphia Lightning, Mustafa Asal for the Greenwich Panthers. This team doesn't have a superstar, but you have 3 very different styles. It's a very eclectic team, and 3 young players that are very passionate about this league and this format, who are uber competitive and uber talented in their own right. So I actually do like this Newport team to be competitive in the postseason if they can get there. Clinging on to a 1-point lead right now here in Cleveland.
Couple quick errors there from Yannick. Definitely needs to nip that in the butt.
Yeah, obviously they're facing a major deficit here. Lake Erie needing to win this period by 10, but with 20 minutes or so to go, the clock can't be a factor. You've just got to be patient. You can't afford to give away cheap errors here. It's another 10, Holly.
About 14 points, so they need to get on the board.
That's more like it for Yannick Wilhelmy.
Great pickup. He's having to put a lot of work in.
Oh, that one just snuck out. And it's Lake Erie who will burn their final timeout and the final overall timeout of the match. Both teams out of timeouts. Newport up 3. Lucy Beecroft wants to talk things over with her team. What's the message over on the Lake Erie bench if you're on coaching duties, Holly? If I'm asking you to take your commentator headset on and put your coaching hat on, what would you be telling to Yannick Wilhelmy right now?
It's such a fine line, and you know they've got to get 13 points back. So it's a tough one. They got to be patient, but also got to be attacking, because if they're not going to go for it, then it's a big differential that they got to climb back. Yeah, there's 16 minutes left, but these guys are playing minute-plus rallies, so it's definitely it's a fine balance. He's got to work this ball. I'd say go for more kills to take the risk factor down, but try and move the opponents. Yeah, they're definitely in deep here.
Yeah, absolutely. Just ramping up the intensity, perhaps. That's a good method a lot of times to get the kill shot more involved, just to try to throw your opponent off kilter a little bit without really risking making the error. Not necessarily looking for a winner, but just sort of looking to
move that ball around, put a little extra step or two into them.
Sort of disrupt the rhythm of your opponent.
Yeah, I think that's, like I kind of said before, the difference between the women's and the men's is all these guys are picking up every ball, so it's not like there's a clear weak link where you can be like,
tougher,
let's
yeah,
fire off the points.
These matches obviously much just lower scoring than what we are accustomed to seeing on the ladies' side. It's tougher to rattle off quick points.
Definitely.
So it is that hybrid of patience while taking calculated risks, going for those kill shots that have the potential to leave you exposed, but aren't necessarily balls that are buried in the tin either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is good from Yannick here, Holly. Oh, and there's an unforced error, but Yannick was in total control of that rally, and it was thanks to a pair of really nice backhand kills in the front left that sort of set up Yaya on the run there over the course of that rally, but it's the unforced error. Oh, it looked like that one snuck out over the outline on the front wall. Now a 5-point lead for the Dragons. Yaya Al-Nawasani gave Newport a bit of a scare there in the first period. Lost 7 straight points in the last 3 minutes there before winning the final point of the period to hang on and win the opener for the Dragons. But looking to redeem himself here. He's played well thus far in the third.
Just got Newport discussing whether they put the power play in here. We're thinking Yannick looks a little dead.
In the inside scoop right near the Newport bench here. Question, will we see a power play? And it's, oh, and there it is. And beating Newport to the punch is Lake Erie.
It's a good substitution
Yeah,
there.
that's a good sub there for Lake Erie. So
7 points they got to claw back.
didn't seem like Pat Kosker was getting ready to throw the flag up before that sub was made. It's a really Nice piece of touch into the front right from El Noasani. So Matias is ready to go, ready to get on that power play. But once again, if he checks on now, he's going to have to call it against Bayerjan. We've yet to see Knudsen here in this third period. Worth noting that Newport still has 3 subs remaining if they want to use all of them. Timmy kicked off the period, and it was El Noasani who checked on for him quite a while ago now. So even if I were Lake Erie, I would have considered even putting Ben Smith back on and calling a power play on El Noasani. El Noasani's been out there for quite some time. But it's
I feel
Bayerjan.
like give Bowser on the power play.
Yeah,
Ben's power plays have been pretty poor today.
That's probably true, honestly.
I think he's
No,
only
I
won
would
about
agree.
5 points out in 3 power plays.
Yeah. It's not a bad shout at all. But also, it's a tough spot to be in for Lake Erie to be trailing and call their second power play before Newport calls their first. I mean, there's just so much to think about here, given the score, given the playoff implications. But Newport.
That's where they got to kind of back themselves, I think. You can't predict what the other team's going to do, but they got to get some points back on this board and then back themselves just to defend when those power plays do come in. Like you said, they probably are going to do some back-to-back maybe power plays.
Yeah, we've seen that not as frequently as you'd think in the NSL. So here's the double flag, the sub and the power play. On comes Knudsen with just over 12 minutes to go. And Newport looking to put this third period on ice. And here is the showman, Matias Knudsen, the spin bender, the Colombian number 3. And world number 42, but I can probably only count on my 2 hands the number of players I'd rather have in the NSL format than Matias Knudsen. So familiar with the rules, and his skill set plays in so well with his ability on the power play, his deception, his attacking ability, and he's been spectacular on the power play tonight for the Dragons.
David's just making sure he's getting in the
right.
way.
The air.
This is what David wants, these long rallies in the power play.
Yes.
I'm shocked Matty's not stopped it.
Yeah. There's another error for Knudsen. 40 seconds to go. Bit of a pressure feed session out there for David Bayerjan, but he's hanging in tough. Oh, he's gone for the top spin.
This is great defending. I believe he's only
defending.
had 1 point in this power play.
Yeah, Knudsen really not wrong fitting Bayerjan at all. That top spin has gotten so many. To cheat on over the wrong way, but not the Canadian number 1.
So this is one of the strengths of David, is just that grit and just grinding and getting that ball back into play. Nice. Can't afford those errors at this point.
No. But after a great piece of defense, Bayerjan still in with a shout here Down only 8. Now we're all evened up on the power play front.
Great finish.
Gorgeous.
Home crowd trying to get behind him.
TS really gets you at that boast.
Ah!
Another error, another error. And again, Newport has only used 2 of their 4 power plays, so Kosker letting the ref know after this point we're going to have a sub. And it looks like it's going to be Yaya Al-Nawasani checking back in. Knudsen checked on for Al-Nawasani, so here comes Yaya. And obviously Newport still with 1 substitution remaining. Timmy Brownell still with his warm-up jacket on is going to have to, you'd think, be the one to close this out after opening up the period. Ben Smith back on as a counter for Lake Erie. So Holly, we're getting to an interesting point here where both teams have a power play remaining, and both teams have to call their power play with over 4 minutes to go.
We're getting tight.
So if we also could have, okay,
There's
so
the
here,
power play.
I was wondering if we were going to see a situation where we were under 6 minutes to go and both teams still had their power play, which would mean that both teams wouldn't be able to get their power play in. But Lake Erie will finish this power play with
He needs a better power play than the
over
last
5
few
minutes
he's had.
to go. Yeah, he does. Lake Erie's season hanging in the balance, all on the shoulders of Ben Smith. He's really going to need at least 7 or 8 points here, given that Newport still has their power play remaining. Air Smith there, leaving his feet for that overhand forehand volley, but Yaya El-Nawasani, such great body control. So quick, but also retracts out of that lunge so well. He's never out of position, always back to the tee, and looks like it's Ben Smith who's doing most of the work right now, despite being on the power play.
Interesting choice by the Beacons to give him another power play after the first few not being so successful.
Yeah, would you have gone, who of the other 2 would you have gone for here?
I would have just, either of them really. I think you just got to mix it up at that point.
Yeah.
Obviously the other 2 players are capable of hitting shots.
Of course.
And I think Yannick's got good hands.
Yeah, we know how effective of an attacking player Ben Smith is. That is really his bread and butter, but if he doesn't have it on the day,
then he doesn't have it.
He doesn't have it on the day. And that's his first point of the power play.
On an error.
On a ball that just sailed too far out of court. Now under 10 seconds to go. Oh, he's gone for it with a little flick of the wrist. A no look. Spinaroonie for Smith, and this is a must-win rally. This is an absolute must-win to give themselves any sort of chance, Lake Erie, to hang in here. And there is the
And there is
error.
a final power play too.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so there has to be a point between the power play. That must be a new rule. I don't remember that being the case in the past. We've definitely seen back-to-back power plays previously. So Newport can't call the power play yet. We'll see if they just call it after this point, and they will.
Smart choice by Yannick, just floating that ball up.
So Wilhelmi is going to have to neutralize Knudsen, pretty much shut him out here on the power play. And then he's going to have to crawl all the way back in around 3 minutes or so.
Go, go, go.
Oh. Oh, the top spin. This is a really incredible power play defense. Neutralizing Knudsen for the first minute here is Wilhelmi. And it shows you the depth of the NSL right now, Holly. I mean, the fact that this Lake Erie team is almost certainly not going to be in the playoffs at this juncture, but this is a very talented team.
We need a bit of a miracle, I think, at this moment.
Yeah, we will. We play on. It's going to be a stroke for Lake Erie. Letter stroke doesn't matter. Wilhelmi just keeping Knudsen at bay at 25.
Some great defending, just almost teasing Matty to hit something on some of these balls.
Yeah, Ben Smith with a 1-point power play at the beginning of the third period. We might have a total shutout here. This will be the final point of the power play, and Matthias looks a bit dejected here. Timmy throws the goggles on. He's getting ready to go back on to close things out. No rush here for Matti. Obviously, this will be the final point of the power play no matter what. In fact, probably smarter for Matti to look to milk the clock here.
Agree. He's looking out at the clock there. He knows just keep that ball in play.
In the middle of the rally, just took a little peek.
Some quick points on the board here.
Yeah, and I don't know if Wilhelmi sort of got the memo that he sort of had to go a little faster there. And I think he caught on to what Knudsen was doing, and that's the right call there for Wilhelmi. He had to go
whether
for
it goes up or down, I think they've just got to go for it. Doesn't matter if they lose by 10 or or 5 at this point.
Oscar getting ready to throw that yellow flag up. Here comes Timbo Slice, looking to put the finishing touches on what has been a dominant third period for the Newport Dragons. Gonna have a little racket change.
Hopefully this new racket has some quick winners in it.
You said it, Holly. It's going to take a bit of a miracle here for Lake Erie. Oh, and there's another error.
Over 10 points, 12 points, 13.
Baker's dozen now for Brownell. 90 seconds to play. Timmy on fresh legs. That's an excellent dig. Oh, the corkscrew. Oh my goodness, do you believe it? It's a double miss for Wilhelmi.
Oh, he goes for another.
On the volley and off the ground stroke. Timmy putting on a bit of a show for the fans.
It's an awful feeling when you're that many cars down.
Albeit, yeah, it's not fun. Not fun being out there. Oh, and there's a roller from Wilhelmi. He finally gets one to go, but it's going to be too little too late.
You almost just want them to stop the clock at this point. Put them out of the misery.
Take Old Yeller out behind the jack. Yeah, this is tough, but Wilhelmi still battling valiantly. All due respect to the Swiss number 3. Only 25 years old, as Wilhelmi has a very bright future ahead of him in professional squash, on the PSA World Tour, and the National Squash League. But here in Cleveland, the evening belongs to the Newport Dragons.
Here
We're
it
getting
is.
a bit of an exhibition rally here. It's 3 back-wall boasts in a row for Brownell. Make it 4. Oh, and he's gone for it. He's made the error. He is the Mariano Rivera of the National Squash League. He is the U.S. number 1. He is the North Division champion. He is Timmy Brownell, closing things out for the Dragons. And Newport heads into the postseason next month as your number 2 overall seed and North Division champs. Good show of sportsmanship from both sides. That'll be the end of the year for the Lake Erie Beacons. An excellent effort from all involved for this Lake Erie team, but we're going to throw over to Will Hopton now, who is with our winners.
Has this surpassed all of your wildest expectations at this point? I mean, certainly. We're not done yet. So we're still we want to take more cities, more fans, and do good things for squash. Well, it's an incredible thing that you started, and a big kudos to you, Spencer, and everybody else behind the NSL. Let's bring in Pat, Coach Pat. Pat, talk us through a little bit about your strategy. It seemed you were eager to get Matty on the power plays. A little bit of insight about your tactics tonight.
Yeah, well, he's our specialist. He had us work time. Make sure he executed the game with some precision, but still got it done. Thank you to Cleveland. Just want to thank you guys for being so gracious hosts. Big shout out to our owner, Dr. Tudor Bear, all the things he does for us, and of course, it's been great to be here. You will put such a great show. Yeah, we got a little lucky there. I'd say we see in the Beacons great match.
Awesome. No, thank you, Pat. It was great to have you here. Let's bring in Matty. Great job this evening. It seems like the NSL format's made for your game.
Yeah, I think I really like the format. There's nothing more fun than watching the shooting with number progression, right? So I enjoy it. It's really progression to follow it. It's like shooting together. It's a dream for me. I think that's why I like it so much.
It was awesome to see you here. A big hand for the Dragons, guys, and good luck in the playoffs next month. A huge thank you to everybody for being here. 2 wonderful Beacons matches, and as a final send-off, massive shout out to Mark Anderson and Sam Duval behind the Beacons, our 2 owners. Thank you, everybody. We'll keep fighting.
There you have it, folks. Commiserations to the Lake Erie Beacons, but congratulations to your North Division champion, Newport Dragons, as the playoff picture takes shape here. Coming up in a few short weeks, the National Squash League playoffs in Norwalk, Connecticut at M Squash. Tickets on sale now at nslsport.com. Taking place from Wednesday, June 10th through Friday, June 12th, the day of the finals. We're going to have 4 playoff teams for both the women and the men. On the men's side, your 4 playoff teams being the number 1 overall seed, defending National Squash League champion, Philadelphia Lightning. The number 2 seed, the team you just saw victorious here tonight, the Newport Dragons. Coming in as the number 3 seed, the Chicago Grizzlies, who are 2-0 on the season in 2026 after being winless in both 2024 and 2025. And then the number 4 overall seed will be the wild card Greenwich Panthers out of this North Division that we just watched. here tonight. So we have 4 spectacular teams in the NSL playoffs. As we just saw in the case of the Lake Erie Beacons, that's a spectacular NSL team that comes up just short that won't find themselves in the NSL playoffs. Shows you how much depth we have. We're going to have some big-time stars at the playoffs. Of course, Kareem Abdel-Gawad, Marwan El-Sherbagi, Mustafa Sal will hopefully be there on behalf of the Greenwich Panthers. And these Newport Dragons, who don't have a top 10 player in the world like those other 3 teams, in fact, don't have a top 20 player in the world, but have a whole myriad of different skill sets across the 3 of them. They all bring something different to the table. They're all competitive as can be, and they really have meshed all season long, it appears. 2-0 on the year are the Newport Dragons. Looking forward to seeing them in the NSL playoffs coming up in a few weeks here. Once again, the dates for that being June 10th, Wednesday, June 10th through Friday, June 12th. Tickets once again on sale now at nslsport.com. The NSL season, regular season, has come to a close. For Holly Naughton, who is my trusty co-commentator this evening here in Cleveland, my name is Jackson Bragman, signing off from the city of rock and roll. Thank you for watching the NSL live on YouTube.
Meet Dakota Marketplace. Built by fundraisers, for fundraisers. It's a complete, accurate, and ever-updated database. Stay current on job and role changes to be notified when your prospect or client leaves a firm. Stay up to date on fundraising news. Access our metro areas feature, which allows you to quickly identify a city that you are traveling to, and all of the qualified prospects within that city broken out by channel. All of this updated in real time. Request a demo and see how we make fundraising easier.